I gotta say something that might sting a little bit. The government doesn't have to destroy our movements anymore because we're doing it to ourselves. And that's not just me being dramatic, it is literally the oldest tactic in the book. They perfected it years ago under something called COINTELPRO, and now we're seeing it still today. The entire point of that movement was to cause infighting and make the entire movement fall apart. And when I look around today, I see the exact same thing happening. So there's a difference between wanting to educate someone and wanting them to fit your cookie cutter mold of what you think they should be. Too often in political movements, it doesn't just happen to others, it happens to me. It happens to all of us. I've written an article on purity politics before, and I stick by it. There are some things that are clearly more nuanced than what I'm discussing in this video, but we really need to look at the bigger picture. There is no perfect cookie cutter mold that someone should have to fit into. We put ourselves in these boxes, and then we look down on anyone that doesn't fit in the box, and that just fractures the movement. Meanwhile, authoritarianism is taking over America in real time. The entire MAGA movement rose not because they were smarter or better than us, but because they didn't fight over ideological purity points like a lot of us do. Meanwhile, our side fractures itself daily, and the government mastered this tactic for decades. They started it with something called COINTELPRO, short for Counter Surveillance Program. Think undercover police. Rather than just coming in and watching to arrest criminals like you see in the TV shows, they actually infiltrated the movements. This program's entire point was to destroy movements from the inside out. Destroy them before they get too big. They wiretapped forged letters, planted informants, spread lies, and created these insane activists that would just break apart the movements. That's how they went after the civil rights movement. They also infiltrated the Black Panthers and AIM, the American Indian movement. They purposely would come into these groups and sow distrust amongst members. They sabotaged the anti-Vietnam War groups, women's liberation groups, anything that would create an uproar against what they wanted. They would come in, they would put their agents in these groups. They would particularly target areas that they knew were vulnerable, focused on people's morality. They would say, okay, they care about this and they care about this. We're going to find a way to cause tension between these individuals, and they would use this to break up the groups through false information. The point was simple. If you can't kill a movement from the outside, or if you don't want to kill a movement from the outside, because that would just, when you try to kill a movement from the outside, people are watching. So when the government's attacking something head on, people tend to go, I don't trust that. But if you can infiltrate the movements, break them apart yourselves, you don't have to worry about the optics of it. Your hands are clean. I don't know what you're talking about. I had nothing to do with this. And that's exactly what happened with COINTELPRO. The government knew that they couldn't oppose these groups publicly, so they infiltrated them. Because if they attacked them publicly, the public would have sided with these groups. It would have just given them more leverage. But if they get inside and they break it apart from the inside, then there you go. And it worked. It's worked over and over again. Movements always collapse under this. It causes suspicion and infighting, and these movements fall apart. Leaders become isolated, communities don't work together anymore, and everyone's divided. And every time the government walked away stronger with more power and less opposition, less dissent. Does that sound familiar to what's happening now? Because it should. That playbook never stopped. We're still seeing this today. We see it in undercover cops at protests, in these anonymous accounts online that come in as activists, and then they spread this extremist content and sow division and say, well, you're not talking about this, so you're a bad person. That's not helpful. That's probably a Fed. They only show up to, stir fights and create like a purity or like a litmus test. Actually, I would like to give an example of this with a comment that I just got on my Substack that actually kind of influenced something I wanted to talk about anyway. Like, I was already thinking about speaking on this, and then this comment was just like, wow, okay, this came at the perfect time. So this guy, this individual here, Rude Awakening is their name. So I had posted a general consensus about this. Like, I'm not here to echo anyone's script. This is my page. I will share what I want on my page. This page belongs to me. And he had commented and pasted this, like, very generic. I'm pretty sure it was just like a version, him trying to self-promote his page and like whatever on my thing. But it made me immediately think of COINTELPRO, because I'm just gonna read this off to you, but you can read it on the screen too. For the record, we are all here. And there's some pictures, and it's in no way a debate. You don't have nuance to add. We are all being attacked by a racist terrorist regime, period. The end. You're welcome to the table. Just make sure you understand that this is your place. So this is what really pissed me off. Like, okay, first of all, I don't have nuance to add. Wow, fuck you. Gerrymandering in 2025. For those of you who think this is wrong, you need to shut the fuck up. You don't have a clue what you're talking about, and you will immediately silence yourself. If I hear this ignorant drivel out of your mouth, I'll break your neck. Shut the fuck up. You are here. You have less than nothing to say. Know your place. It's right here where I serve you. Put your fucking ignorant feet up. How am I feet ignorant? And get a drink, you fucktard. You are here saying less than fucking anything. You don't have questions. You are here. Stop your nuanced nonsense and realize that a convicted felon pedophile is supporting Americans and using the military to attack Americans. You are here. You are assisting in your own demise. You need a class action lawsuit against Meta, X, TikTok, and Americans need to pay attention. The global citizens leading and regulating social media platforms. Trump is not possible without the constant lies and disinformation. You must hold these men and their families accountable. We are here and this nightmare. This fucking comment was a nightmare. Wait, so first of all, you don't have nuance to add. That's exactly how movements die. If you immediately tell everyone that nothing that they're doing and nothing that they're saying matters, that's going to kill a movement. That's going to cause a fracture. Nobody wants to hear that. You don't create solidarity and community by dismissing people and telling them that what they're saying is not important. Go chambers don't change the world. They collapse under their own volume. Next, it's in no way a debate, really. Really think if you can't handle your own people working together to figure something out, that you can handle an authoritarian movement. Like, my issue is there's a difference between, an education, a conversation between people and teaching each other things, and flat out just telling people, you listen to me or you're wrong. And this guy is literally doing, you listen to me or you're wrong. You can't expect people to want to support you, and you can't expect to be able to take on an authoritarian regime with comments like this. This reads like COINTELPRO. This reads like something that COINTELPRO and Facebook and social media and Substack and everything was a thing back then. Authoritarians thrive when people ask each other not to question things. If you convince others that questioning things is dangerous, this is an issue. And then he said, you're welcome to the table, but make sure you know your place too. Whoa. That's not an invitation for community. That is a leash. That is someone saying, sit down, shut up, and play your assigned role, which is exactly what those in power want you to do. They don't want you out of their boxes. And this is where movements self-destruct. The cause, it's literally gatekeeping each other into silence. This is the issue. If you don't say exactly my way, you don't belong. That's not helpful. This is what we need to watch out for. Things like this, comments like this. And I know it sucks because this energy doesn't always come from our enemies, at least not that we know of. It comes from people we thought were friends. And he goes on to try to dismiss people talking about the gerrymandering happening in Texas and California, which are actually very important. Like, this is almost a precursor to a civil war, but he's trying to dismiss parts of the movement. Why would he not want you to look at gerrymandering? Like, this is exactly what they did back then. They would make you look at certain parts of the movement and try to discredit the others. If you have people telling you you shouldn't be looking at this thing, but you should be looking at this thing, you should look at both things really hard. Both parties have done it. Telling people that caring about gerrymandering is stupid is literally ass backwards. Anyone with a baseline knowledge of democracy knows that gerrymandering is not democratic, and that doesn't matter what party is doing it. And then him saying, you don't have a clue what you're talking about, and you will immediately silence yourself. First of all, honey, no. That is a classic authoritarian move. They want to discredit your voice, tell you to shut up, only listen to them and what they're saying. That's not helpful. When people see things like this, they think, I don't want to be associated with that, and that also further drives apart the movement. That's not education. You are trying to bully people. If I hear this ignorant drivel out of your mouth, I'll break your neck. Are you so fucking serious right now? This is where it no longer goes from them saying you're not good enough and you have to only say what I'm saying. Now they're threatening violence. And again, this is only further reinforcing. People are going to read this and be like, oh my God, this is terrifying. What the hell? I don't want to be associated with this. I would rather just go back to my safe space where I'm on social media and shopping and living my life and not having to deal with this, because they see comments like this and it scares people off. And that's intentional. That is what they want. Not only does it scare people off, it also divides people up. People see this and they're like, either A, I don't want to be part of this drama, which this makes this whole movement seem like it's drama and not an actual political movement. And then they're also like, I don't like people threatening to kill me. This is exactly the kind of rhetoric that the state wants you to see. They want to label people as domestic terrorists, and comments like this only further push their narrative of protest and dissent as domestic terrorism. This kind of comment is intentional. I'm not trying to be funny. This is a Fed. This is 100% a Fed. Don't listen to this page. They're literally just gift wrapping the threats of domestic terrorism and handing it to the government to use against us. Shut the fuck up. You are here. You have less than nothing to say. More screaming, zero comment, more telling people to shut the fuck up. No actual nuance or argument or anything here that's helpful at all. If someone truly has nothing to add, you don't need to threaten them into silence. They'll fade out on their own. Know your place. It's right here where I served you. Again, this is authoritarian drivel and doesn't help the movement. And where I served you, are we talking politics or Applebee's? Like, I don't get it. Put your ignorant fucking feet up and get a drink, you fucktard. So now we're going from revolutionary to drunk uncle, or if your goal is to rally people by insulting them and then telling them to put their feet up and get a drink, I am very confused. This reads like a parody of tough guy activism. Stop your nuanced nonsense and realize that a convicted felon and pedophile is supporting Americans and using the military to attack Americans. I talk on this all the time. Like, that's how I know this guy is just posting this on generic pages, because I am literally someone that brings light to this. My entire publication is to talk about the rising fascism and the way that the United States government is targeting and hurting people. So I know this person has never read anything from my page, and this is why I know it's probably a fed. And this is a real issue, but they are deporting people, innocent people, and militarizing against civilians. But they frame it as, don't bring any nuance, don't question anything, just listen to only what I'm saying. And that's how authoritarianism thrives. If you discredit certain parts of the movement and make people feel like their work doesn't matter, then it's going to help create fractures. You are silencing nuance while pointing at real abuses and then also abusing people simultaneously. You are assisting in your own demise. No, the point of this comment is to fracture the movement, and I'm not falling for your shit. What you brought up is a real issue, but you're not doing it any favors. You're not persuading people, you are manipulating people, which is what a fed would do. And then you pivot into like hashtag activism, and then that's when it's clear to me, like, this is a weird self-promo kind of thing too. And it doesn't feel like revolution, but more like an infomercial. I feel like I'm being screamed at. Like, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm just watching TV and someone's yelling at me. But wait, for only 3 easy payments, you can sue big tech. Same comment in which you are threatening to break people's neck and you are bullying people and you are trying to tell people that their opinions don't matter and there's no nuance. That's intentional. This is a person that doesn't actually care about the movement. This would be like evidence that they would show. This is something you would see like in a database somewhere, like, oh yeah, we took down the movement because of people like this. Or this would be like a justification. Like, I could see this being a post on the DOJ's website telling us, oh look, see, they're domestic terrorists. Only domestic terrorists believe that, we should stop disinformation on social media and stop deporting people. Look, they want to break your neck. Like, this is literally giving them exactly what they want. So you give half-truths, insults, hashtags, and you frame very real movements under a very shitty narrative. And that makes me immediately suspicious of you and of your intentions. I've had several individuals write me and try to get me to speak on an issue. And when I don't, they will dismiss me, or they've gone and they've talked about me to other creators, etc. Very much drama. I don't care about that. Individuals that purposely come in and sow division, those are the individuals that are very suspicious to me. I am not going to be the one to speak on something I haven't all researched, or I may not necessarily agree with you 100%, etc. The government turns these political movements into an Ouroboros. We are literally eating ourselves. They don't have to necessarily infiltrate anymore. They've created the framework for us to do it to ourselves. And whether you do it intentionally or not, the end result is still the same. Fracture, isolation, movements fall apart. If you have this movement divided up into different boxes and they're not coordinating together, then nobody really wins. Except for the government, of course. We don't have to play into it. We don't win by demanding that everyone fights the exact same fight in the exact same way all the time. If we're all working together and we're all cohesively fighting for different things, then that's enough. Yes, we're not going to all fight for the exact same thing at the exact same time, and we may not all have the same beliefs, but ideological purism does nothing for this movement. Think about it. If you're dismissing this person because they haven't talked about this, or if you're dismissing this person because you don't like the way that they talked about this, meanwhile, for the most part, you agree with everything else, like, you care that people have the right to live, people have the right to healthcare, people have the right to survive without being targeted or attacked. When the billionaires have so much money that they don't even know what to do with it. They couldn't spend all that money in 3 of their lifetimes. Meanwhile, there are children starving in the streets, and we're fighting about fucking ideological purism. Fuck your ideological purism. We need to be in this shit together, and I say that respectfully, but we don't get through this by fighting each other. That's not solidarity, that is self-sabotage. Movements thrive when we band together. We don't win by fracturing each other into a million little purity cliques. We win by working together imperfectly, messily, in our different ways, but together. That's why none of us should fall for comments like this. Not me, not you, not anyone. But I digress. This is the end of this video. That is all I have for now. Thanks for sticking around. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Don't fall for the feds. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.